SMOKECAST. Light 'em up. Light 'em up like a Christmas tree. Coming up the chimney, yeah, you sent for me. It's going down, I'm dropping it low. You know I got that sick ass flow. Ice cold, smoking like liquid nitrogen. Every day I'm trying to improve my raps. I'm hyping them up. And you know I get the people moving fast on my feet. You know I'm always grooving in the groove, setting records at a pin drop. I get your old neck hurt from bobbing your head to this beat. I'm moving way side from side, street heat. Yeah. I'm clocking on these haters, clocking all that dough, and I say I see you later. Yeah, I'm like Roadrunner, you're like Wile E. Coyote. I got the dynamite, you got the motherfucker. Yeah. Damn it, I choked again. Guys, straight Looney Tunes. Straight Looney Tunes out here, alright? But I ain't saying that's all, folks. People trying to copy my style, you know that's all faux pas. Now I'm chopping it up in French. Ooh la la. Using this tree as a bench. Yeah, you know I got rhymes, I got style. Kicking it back. Yeah, grinds. And I'm doing a lazy freestyle. SMOKECAST. Yeah, it ain't exactly 8 Mile. Do what you want to do. Be who you want to be. Life's too short. These are all things I would be saying if it wasn't for the fact that they've already been said. And the SMOKECAST has to maintain a certain level of originality in its composition and in the topics that it covers. You know, what does it mean to be anything at all? Have you ever thought about that? If a man steps into a river, or a woman, twice, you know, yada yada yada. Oh, I mentioned the bisque. Anyways. Details. What do you think about my raps? Alright, I've been getting inspired lately by this young creator called Tony. Having so much fun playing with words, you know. Words have meaning, they have power. They have a way of communicating that unspoken essence that exists between people. That source of, that well of insight and wisdom that we all tap into collectively without even realizing it. The mystery of mind. Words can be a gateway to that. And freestyle rapping is a great way of trying to figure out what exactly are you feeling in this very moment. Which is what I was trying to do in this very moment. And I thought, okay, I'll make a SMOKECAST about it and see if I can land on something. And guess what? I've landed once again on a downed log on my ass. A different one this time, because there's plenty around here. And there's a woodpecker up somewhere in these trees, pecking pecking away. I can hear it. Pecking away. So here's the feeling I wanted to address today that may be familiar to some of the viewers. But, when you become too self-aware, when you become too much aware of your emotions, not emotions, but motions, the way you move your body, when you become too looking at yourself through a camera lens that's floating outside of you, you might realize that you've been moving as if you're trapped inside of like a skin suit, rather than, for lack of a better word, being yourself. Alright? And sometimes the best cure for that is just doing something erratic. Doing something erratic. But a lot of the time you can't do that because people get scared around you. They might be in an even thicker skin suit, in like a gimp suit. They can't even open their mouth to say what they think, let alone what they feel. And I think it's been made obvious to the viewer that I definitely use the forest as a place to refresh myself in this regard. But some people maybe forget to do it, in whatever way they prefer to do it. And I'm no exception, I forget sometimes as well. And I come out into the forest and it feels like I fall out of a skin suit that's been put over me. Some sort of invisible coating. And that's why motion is important. The motion of the ocean. A feeling of freedom. And in a very high degree we are looking for freedom on this channel. Freedom in a physical way, but also in an unseen way. To be liberated from your inner limitations. But how to do that responsibly, that's something that I'm discovering myself on this journey. I've done plenty of irresponsible things in my life. And part of the learning experience of doing irresponsible things is dealing with the consequences. And seeing how much resilience you have. You see videos on the internet of people spending years in captivity and things like that. And still being able to survive. Still being able to come back and tell their story. And this says something about the undying will that exists within every human soul, every human spirit, to overcome. And that's why I think it's important to take a breather and listen to the forest wind, or some other kind of wind. Maybe your own farts. Maybe you should sniff your own farts. I don't know what kind of wind you'll be breaking. But you gotta listen to something, or not. Maybe just don't listen. All I know is that almost whether you like it or not, there's something inside you that will work tirelessly to persevere. Meaning that human being is not just surviving, it's thriving. We seek not to just survive. We always, in one way or another, seek to thrive. And that is what creates the complications that surround human life at all. The question of self-deletion and social stigmas are contained within this very problem. Why shall he get to thrive while I feel like I'm merely surviving? Or, well, what is the point if we're only merely surviving and there is no thriving? Or, we must survive so that we may thrive. This is all connected to the fundamental question of meaning. Okay? And this doesn't have to sound new to you, dear watcher, because, like I said, it's within all of us. That was a 6-7p, I think. Yeah. Yeah, 6-7. And you gotta be the beast you wanna be, which is rule 6 of my 12 Rules for Life series, which, if you haven't checked it out already, it's on my other channel, TOBBEY 222. So go check that out. It's so chock full of wisdom that you might think to yourself, well, why am I even watching this guy? This guy's latest stuff to begin with, when he's already laid down the law. Anyways, my Rule 6 video is the spiciest, I think. But, you know, that's for you to decide. But be the beast you want to be. And that means you gotta have a connection, at least, to nature, your inner nature. And that's why, before I made this video, I actually took a shit in nature. And, you know, you might say, oh, he's oversharing now, but trust me, doing a full squat and taking a dump in nature, that might be up there amongst some of the most therapeutic activities you can engage in life. Alright, I'm dropping straight poo. Okay? This ain't no joke. Why do you think I have so many fans around the world? Because this is universal knowledge, alright? Dropping straight turds out here. You heard? You heard about the turd? Alright, I'm well versed in free turban. Look at this sunlight creating like a strobe effect on my video. Pretty cool. Now I'm like the moon reflecting the sun. The sun and the moon. What you are and what you aim to be. What's inside of yourself and what's outside of yourself. What you have always been and what you have yet to become. Is it all a dream, perhaps? And you merely end up? Or is it attainable? Is it attainable if you leap with your whole heart Or maybe you should just keep it 50-50 and take what comes your way. You know what I'm saying? Dead end up in this. You don't want to end up like Søren Kierkegaard, which if you translate that to English, it means damn graveyard. So you know, talking about, but you know, I'm not trying to spit too much game on this here channel, but you know what I'm saying. So it's time to end the episode before I have another episode. I can rhyme episode with episode all day, because I can't think of another word that rhymes with episode. So I gotta figure it out my own way. Yeah, chopping it up with an unconventional flow. Yeah, signing conventions like Geneva. I'm about to give you a fever, I'm so hot. Going toe to toe and shot for shot. And you get shot up if you try to step to me. I use my verbal, lyrical machine gun to shoot truths in your mouth, and face and nose and ears, and head, shoulder, knees and toes. On the low, keeping it cool and steady, like a captain on a ship. I'm ready, like Ed and Eddie, or Nettie, Flanders, Hidely Hodely Neighborino. I'ma tap that ass like a fucking tambourino. It's Kino, some of the best cinema you ever seen. We about to kick it, staying lean. And you know we staying cleaned up. You know we on the way up. Got my mind on the motherfucking target. Got a mother flipping target. Thinking to myself, how far get? Well, that's kind of like backwards, isn't it? Alright, thank you for watching.